Hello and welcome to another episode of the Classical Republican. Today I want to do a reaction video on Victor Davis Hanson entitled The Middle Class and Why It's Disappearing. Let's listen to that.
One of the essentials of citizenship is the presence of the creation and preservation of a large middle class. The same goes not only with the rights of citizenship, majority of citizens, self-employed, independent, outspoken, and neither rich nor poor. The middle class alone were neither dependent on the state nor do they emulate or do they envy the rich. And so these mesoi in the idealized Greek city-state were the citizens that showed up in the assembly hall. They were outside and they had an equal seat on stone benches. That equality was reflected in the military sense by slots and the phalanx, that is the armed squares, spearmen that fought the battles of the city-state. And finally, there was a third dimension of the middle class, and that was the agrarian grid outsiders. Most land was parceled, as it was during the homestead of the United States, into 10-acre parcels. The citizen also had to be independent. They were in control of the laws. They made the laws, and they were not subject to urgent from the poor or the rich. There's another idea that comes to the ancient world that's important to remember, that something about being in charge of your own destiny combines the mental with the physical. By that I mean, in the industrial world, most people were farmers. So they would get up in the life. They would cut grain or thresh it. It was a constant physical job. And yet they were making decisions. It was a mental task. And to the Greeks, this combination of mental acuity and physical strength made the perfect balance. So we have farmers today. 17 hours, but yet he has to make the decisions. Which job shall I do? How much does diesel fuel cost? And the same thing holds true of the business person. If you work for a corporation, you make very important decisions, but the independent business person is responsible for his own destiny. One of the same for the side of travel. What I'm suggesting to you is maybe we can't be all small farmers, we can't be all middle class small business people, but we need this group to be present, because without this present, you cannot the voices, and we don't combine the physical and the mental, and of people who take responsibility for themselves. Okay, so middle class citizenship is crucial in the history of possibility. Fortunately, in our generation, it's eroding, and we can see it erode in a variety of contexts. The first is, for 10 years, average wages of the middle class did not rise. 50% of the country dies with less than 10,000 in aggregate wealth. Over half of Americans die with credit card debt. More dramatic than in student loans. When a student graduates, the average loan is somewhere between $30,000 and $40,000. We have an entire generation of students that are
All right. So, okay, this is Victor Davis Hanson, and he has an interesting background. He's actually from well, he's from outside of my hometown of Fresno, California, and let me get this. Okay, let's make it escape. There we go. Very interesting background. He's a farmer, and he was involved in. He was actually went to school at Fresno State University, and he went to he wrote some books, and those books were actually not very I would say conservative. They were classicist books, meaning that they focused on the classics, the Greek and Latin texts that have come down to us, and he's but he got really involved in the early part of the 21st century with conservatives, with the Bush administration and the neocons. I don't know if I'd call him a neocon, but he was definitely chummy with them. So he's got this very conservative background, and also, it's been made a conservative background. Now he works with Hillsdale College, and I wonder if anyone there has ever read any of his early writings, because he had radical ideas about land ownership, and that there shouldn't be any. Well, first of all, we should get rid of the whole everything that the government does with agriculture, and just reform that, and to pass a law that no one should be able to own farmland that is not that they can't farm themselves. And so that was that's something very radical. In this video, he talks kind of alludes to that with the Homestead Act. He kind of glosses over a lot of history, but this is a short video, so I don't fault him for that. And one thing I think we're all left wondering is, so what do we do about all the people in debt, these tens of thousands of serfs that he refers to? Is it supposed to be forgiven? Should we have something like the Jubilee year in the Old Testament that talks about debts being forgiven every 50 years? So yeah, I don't really know where he's going with this. Should we all just, is this just good advice for the next generation, that we need to not go into debt? We need to have our college already saved up for and paid for, and don't take out any loans, because you're not going to get a job that's going to pay well enough. I don't know. So yeah, this was very interesting. I also put out a video on the middle class, and again, I'm not going to fault him for there is a difference between the ancient middle class and the modern probably 20th century middle class. You have people who are making, and he kind of referred to that in comparing the somebody who's a corporate cog. They're making decisions, and then you have the small business owner, and the decisions they make are going to be more grave and impactful upon their lives than some of these cogs, as he refers to them. Okay, so this is really an interesting video, and I hope that we can all be more independent-minded politically, and so that we can have a better country. Reflect not only the will of the people, but prudence and wisdom, and long live the Republic.